No, 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 no. It's not a popsicle.
I was confused.
I know.
So shiny.
I know.
Oh, hi, I'm Nick the Goat Majesco. I don't know why we're always surprised. We always start the camera first.
Oh, they're here. I don't know who they are, but they're here.
I introduced myself. No
I'm
knows.
David the Jesus Clatterbuck.
No
Everyone knows who I am.
We are the Bracket Guys. Certainly appreciate y'all tuning in. We got the last matchup of the first round of our foreign foods bracket. Yeah, try working through that. Rice Kitchen versus World Buffet. Do my glasses look really crooked on?
Yes, and they're falling off the side of your head. It's like your face. It's either like your glasses are crooked or the glasses are straight and your head's on sideways.
Better?
Better. I like it to stay like that. Did you dislocate your nose? What the hell? Anywho.
That's because there's no lens here. Nope, that one has a lens.
No lens here! No. This one has glass to stop my finger.
Oh. Nonetheless, we got this matchup. Check us out on our WordPress page, bracketguys.wordpress.com. Check it out. Shoot us an email, bracketguys@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook, all that good stuff. The stuff we always start with. You should know it by now. Got some stuff coming down the road.
That is the plan. Shouldn't be too long now. Technological developments, convenient ways to experience the Bracket Guys, you know, all that jazz.
So that should be up, hopefully in the next couple days.
Yeah.
Latest end of the week, unless we hit a snag. That's pretty much what I got.
That's pretty much the size of it. Let's do it.
Were you in the middle of yawning?
I was.
That's good cover.
Thank you. We didn't keep talking like that and see if anyone noticed it.
Anyone notice? Alright, well, let's get to the matchup.
Let's get it on.
This shit.
What I said yesterday, you didn't notice.
You said let's do it.
I said let's get it on.
No, it wasn't quite so sexual.
Let's get it on.
Okay.
Anyway.
This is Rice Kitchen versus World Buffet.
Alright, so the matchup today, we have, as we said, the 7-seed Rice Kitchen taking on the 10-seed World Buffet. So two here, the name notwithstanding World Buffet, two basically Chinese restaurants, though very different styles of restaurant, food, the same genre of food, but very different styles of restaurant. World Buffet obviously being a buffet, and then you have Rice Kitchen, which is, I think you can eat there, but it's...
You can.
You
yeah,
can
I mean, but for all
there.
intents and purposes, it's a delivery Chinese.
But it is a takeout Chinese restaurant, which is a perfectly valid way to run a business. So, so service, obviously, it'd be sort of a not direct comparison, but a World Buffet to start with, the service was terrible. We have been there. The service is terrible. The waiter was rude. And fine, be rude, I guess, if you want. But if you come back and bring me drinks on a regular basis, I guess you can yell at me while you do it. I actually don't get that offended by it.
He didn't.
But you gotta, like, do one of them.
He was rude and didn't bring back drinks.
As opposed to Rice Kitchen, where I have personally, Goat has been there, I have not in the actual building, but I've often used their main services as a delivery, and it's always been on time and prompt, and the delivery people they hire are as nice as you need a delivery person to be. So my vote will definitely go to Rice Kitchen.
Nope. Closer to me. You don't know where I am?
Gravity take its course. Anywho, how about you?
You kind of covered.
I covered.
There's Rice Kitchen always delivered on time. World Buffet always had a dick waiter, so tough. Move on to variety. You know, both very similar, both Chinese restaurants. Rice Kitchen has a good amount of different Chinese food. World Buffet, called World Buffet, mainly Chinese. They do have some. They had like mac and cheese, and they had some shrimp and stuff and stuff like that. In terms of variety, I'm gonna give it to Rice Kitchen, and for one reason only. When I think back to my times at World Buffet, there wasn't that much food. There wasn't a lot of different food. There were maybe 3 different of those buffet carts. So there wasn't that much, and I think for a buffet, you kind of have to have a lot of things. Whereas at Rice Kitchen, there are lots of things you can order.
World Buffet, I will say that, and I feel that way about a couple buffets that we're going to cover in the course of the bracket overall. It is, man. And I don't know if it's a Lansing thing or a Michigan thing, or people just sort of have a different expectation. But yeah, it was not so much with the giant, not a really big buffet. And I get that not every place can be Golden Corral, but still. My vote's probably going to go with Rice Kitchen as well. And again, a large variety. I mean, it is Rice Kitchen, the kind of food you expect to have at a place called Rice Kitchen, but they have a variety of dishes. So yeah. Location-wise, and again, this is going to stick to some extent. I mean, World Buffet is on they get them confused when they get down that far. On Saginaw. It's on Saginaw, so it's on a main street. It's a little farther down than I typically.
It's closer to Grand Ledge. It's on the
far west side. On the far west side of Lansing, which is a fine place to be. It's on a main drag. Rice Kitchen. Actually, I don't know where the store is.
Rice Kitchen is.
If it's not on Grubhub, I actually don't know where the store is.
I mean, the Rice Kitchen's on. It's on Grand River.
It's actually
on whatever that side street is next to Taco Bell.
Oh, sure.
It's on that.
Right.
It's off that parking lot.
For me, I'm actually going to sort of basically give World Buffet the point here because I think Saginaw is a fine location. There's a lot of people who live on that side of town, Grand Ledge and whatnot, and mainly because I get that it's a delivery thing, but I guess I will give kudos to the one that actually uses a physical location just because I feel like they deserve it.
I'm absolutely giving mine to World Buffet in this sense, not just because I'm Saginaw, but the Rice Kitchen location. I drove by Incredible one more time. I wanted to make sure I wasn't going into it. There actually is a storefront that faces Lake Lansing Road. Sort of. There is. Yes. There is. There's a big sign. You can't enter there, but there is a sign.
You can't enter there, but there's a sign.
Rice Kitchen you can only get to from the parking lot behind Chipotle. You can't see it from Grand River.
What?
You can't see it because it's the mall goes like this, and there's a jut out right here, and it's on the back side of that. It's in that little alcove where Chipotle has their little patio.
Sure. Yeah.
That's where it is. So I'm absolutely giving it to World Buffet in that sense, and it's also on Saginaw, big main drag. I mean, if Rice Kitchen could have been seen from the road, I would have probably given it to Rice Kitchen, or at least both. But
sure.
Now, usually right now we'd go to returnability. Actually switching things up, we're going to move returnability to the very end. Thinking about it, doesn't make sense. Returnability is sort of a combination of both the restaurant and the food. So we're going to kind of move that to the end and make that sort of that and the special / intangibles be the last two categories. So we're going to move on to the food. Quality when served, two different things. World Buffet, a buffet style, so it is kind of when you get there. Whereas Rice Kitchen is delivered. I'm going to give mine to Rice Kitchen. It's always been hot when it's delivered, which I think is impressive for a delivery place. I've had some delivery places deliver it cold. Always been hot when I get it. Always been, good quality. World Buffet, I didn't think it was bad, but it was, some of the stuff was a little colder than it should have been.
For me, I'm actually going to do both in this kitchen. Rice Kitchen, I absolutely agree with you. I've never had the food so cold from Rice Kitchen, especially, and doing delivery, that's always impressed me. But World Buffet, of all the things that I remember about going to World Buffet, it was never that the food was cold. And I'm sure if you went there at an off-peak time, you'd have to know going to buffet, if you go there at 3 in the afternoon, the food's going to be cold because you're the only person eating it. But when I was there, when there were people trafficking, I don't recall it standing out. Again, so I'm giving them both a point mainly because it's so apples and oranges, and I think they both sort of handle what they're trying to do. Taste, here I am going to go with Rice Kitchen. I really do like their food. It's very solid. I get a variety of things, so no particular dish really jumps to mind because I usually try and get some different things there. Whereas World Buffet was more generic, and I get that there is part of that is you have to cook food a certain way to get it to stay hot on a buffet, and that's fine. It was perfectly good for a buffet, but I think the one that I definitely went, oh, this is really good food, was that Rice Kitchen.
I think I'm gonna go Rice Kitchen as well. Even though the one thing that I remember from Rice.
Okay, we're going to have a minor pause, but go to the meltdown because our apartment has ants for reasons that we won't go into right now. And he sees one on the table and he's trying to resist doing something that's going to involve this glass table shattering all over. I'm like, oh, thank you. That was super helpful.
It landed on the floor.
No, it landed on me.
Well, it bounced off you and hit the floor.
But I shook it off me, yes.
But nonetheless, I think I go with Rice Kitchen mainly because I like their food. The one thing that does stand out for me from Rice Kitchen, though, is, man, their soup was terrible. The sweet and sour soup tasted like they scraped it off the floor.
No, and I didn't think about that because I never order soup from Chinese restaurants. Oh my! But he got it, and I tried it. Oh my god!
It was terrible. It was terrible. Now, in fairness, that was because I ordered the lunch combo and it came with it. So this is sort of, if you watch our Sansu bonus review, it's sort of that sense. It was free, so I guess the meal was good, and World Buffet just does not stand out in my mind. And Rice Kitchen, I'm not a big Chinese food fan.
Yeah, sure.
But I get their food probably once or twice a month.
The entrees were good. Yeah, don't get the soup. Oh my god, that was terrible. I forgot about that. Bang for the buck. Again, there's no question on this for me. It's Rice Kitchen. Rice Kitchen is absurdly affordable. You get huge portions. I mean, and I guess you can get huge portions at World Buffet if you want, because it's a buffet, and I guess that's what you get to do there. But by and large, you got to be pretty hungry to get your money's worth at World Buffet, as I recall. Whereas Rice Kitchen just always is a great deal.
You know, this is tough because normally for banging for the buck, I'm going to give a lot of credence to it's a buffet. I mean, you can get as much as you want. But I'm going to give it to Rice Kitchen, if for one reason only. I remember walking in there the first time we went there, looking up and going, man, that seems like an excessive price to pay for a buffet. And the fact that that's my first thought means that it's clear, and it wasn't that great, clearly means the bang for the buck. We moved to specials. World Buffet,
I'm not
the
sure.
only intangible it has is it is a buffet.
And which is cool, and I think is something I like to have. I can't really think of there being any other. There may be other Chinese buffets around here. I really think there's not that many buffets in Lansing. I'm sure there's a couple, but I've been to them. On this one, neither one of these honestly has much where I go. I mean, Rice Kitchen is delivery Chinese. World Buffet is a Chinese, or World Buffet is a Chinese buffet. Both of them, I sort of go, you're pretty much swinging right in your wheelhouse there. There's not really one for me that I would give a specials reward to, honestly.
I'm going to give mine to Rice Kitchen because they do the $5.99 lunch combo.
Fair enough.
It is a great price. You get not only an egg roll, you get the entrees, which are huge, you get rice, which is huge, and you get soup, which the only soup I'd get there is the wonton soup because you can't really mess that up.
The wonton soup I had was fine.
It is broth and
wonton, which is
so it's tough to mess up. Don't get the sweet and sour. It's terrible. So we move on to our last category, returnability. Which one would you rather go back to? And I don't think this is much of a contest.
It's not. It's not. I mean, for me, it's Rice Kitchen. I mean, I will say that I do go to a takeout place more often than I go to a buffet, just because it's a bigger sort of procedure. So I like World Buffet, and I would go back there because I do like Chinese buffets. But on just a more, not even just on I go to delivery places more frequently. Rice Kitchen is drawing me back more than World Buffet is.
So shall we take out the chips, see who wins?
Welcome to the first round of the bracket.
Yeah, well, welcome to the first round of any bracket.
That's my point. Welcome to the first round of the bracket.
Of a bracket.
All brackets.
Of all brackets. And the foreign foods is going to go through, all the higher seeds are going to move through, which I don't think is going to happen the rest of the way. But, you know, we'll see. Chip stack 4. And there. It's really not a contest. Our winner today is Rice Kitchen.
Yes.
So with the final score of 13-3, Rice Kitchen will move on to the next round. I'll actually write it in the bracket. Rice Kitchen is going to move on.
Face the number 2 seed, Los Tres Amigos.
The breakdown, I gave 7 to Rice Kitchen and 1 to World Buffet. David gave 6 and 2. I guess just looking at this, David, any observations, any matchups you're looking forward to in the second round of the foreign foods bracket?
And it's going to be a little while before we get there, but off the top of my head, I think I'm looking forward to probably the Los Tres Rice Kitchen. That's as good as anything. I mean, that's as solid a matchup as anything. Plus the Craig's Woodies, in that they're across the street from each other. They're like next door to each other, which I think is funny. In real life, they are. So that should be a good matchup.
I'm interested to see the Mumbai Chipotle matchup, mainly because just sort of cursory looking at it, you know, Mumbai, you tend to be really high on Mumbai. I'm really high on Chipotle, so I'll be interested to see where that goes. But it should be an interesting second round. From this, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the second overall number 1 seed. We're going to go to the Lansing side of the bracket, which is across. So over here, see, right here is foreign, so over there is the Lansing. Our first matchup in the Lansing bracket is going to be the 8 seed Big Apple Bagel going against the 9 seed Wing Zone. Should be an interesting matchup. 2 very different restaurants. And I'll be interested to see that. And we'll see if this trend of higher seeds moving on will continue, or we'll get a couple upsets in there. As always, check us out on our WordPress page, bracketguys.wordpress.com. Always have a poll up for who's going to win that day, so we'd love to hear your input. We'd like to for the record, so far everybody's been correct. There's been nobody who's picked the wrong one, which I think proves how strong the top seeds of the form bracket are.
Right.
So nobody's picked the one who's lost. But there'll always be a poll up. Check it out there. Comments. Let us know what you think about our ratings, about our... man, my glasses were really low. It looked like I was asleep. Let us know what you think about our ratings, who are moving on. Give us your predictions, anything like that. We'd love to hear from you. Got a couple stuff up our sleeves for the next week.
Working on some technological developments. Hopefully we'll keep you posted on those as things sort of fall together, but everything looks promising.
Yep,
so.
Any updates will be on the WordPress page.
WordPress, Facebook.
YouTube. Please like us on Facebook. Suggest us to your friends.
Yeah.
Love to see more viewers. So they're just about let's go. Yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Can throw the bowl at you.
I guess that's better.
It's a poker chip. Calm down.
It's just a poker chip. It's just a poker chip.
I'm not as bad as you.
You hit me in the sternum.